Hello there, it's midweek and you're welcome to the evening news bulletin at 6 p.m. These are the top stories for tonight. The managing director of Ghana Airport Company Limited, Mr. Yao Kwakwa, has been sacked. Meanwhile, the man in question says he's unaware of his dismissal. Government has been admonished to halt the mandatory vaccination, especially in schools. Details coming up shortly. We've not built any new hospital, but we've completed many. Those are the words of Health Minister Kwekwajiman Menu during a presser. Today, details of that is also in this bulletin. The Ghana Revenue Authority has assured that it's on course to automate its systems to block all leakages in the collection of revenue in the country. And in sports, the government of Senegal has rewarded each national football team member cash prizes and plots of land following their win in the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations. Live on Facebook on Adoa TV Ghana, YouTube, Adoa TV GH. We'll bring you details of these and some more in this bulletin. I am Anastasia Baddoo. And to the principal story for tonight. The managing director of Ghana Airport Company Limited, Mr. Yao Kwakwa, has been sacked. In a letter signed by the Honorable Minister for Transport, Kweku Ofori-Esiama, to the board chairman of the company, it was noted that the President of the Republic, per letter dated 31st January 2022, has directed that the appointment of Mr. Yao Kwakwa as the Managing Director of the Ghana Airport Company Limited be terminated. However, it was unclear what might have necessitated this action by the President. The Secretary to the President, the Secretary to the Vice President, and the Chief of Staff were copied in the letter.
In the early hours of Tuesday, February 9, 2022, the dismissal of the Managing Director of the Ghana Airport Company Limited, Mr. Yao Kwakwa, swept the entire nation like wildfire. This was contained in a letter signed by the Honorable Minister for Transport, Kweku Ofori-Esiama, to the board chairman of the company. In this regard, kindly take the necessary steps to give effective to the directive. I count on your cooperation, the letter said. According to the letter, this was a directive from the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, dated January 31, 2022. The letter failed to mention what had necessitated the need for Mr. Yao Kwakwa's dismissal as the MD for the Ghana Airport Company Limited. However, it is suspected to be as a result of the current Magdan Aviation tussle. Magdan Aviation announced the suspension of its private jet operations at Terminal 1 of the Kotoka International Airport to enable the management of the company to hold talks with the Ghana Airport Company Limited over contentions regarding operational procedures. This was after the GACL, in a letter dated January 31, 2022, indefinitely barred Mr. Magdan Aviation from operating its private jet services at the Terminal 1 of the Kotoka International Airport. Meanwhile, Mr. Yao Kwakwa has stressed that he is still at post and information about his sacking is alien to him. I don't know what you are talking about. My appointment has not been terminated, the GACL MD told the media.
We're just getting to know that your appointment as managing director has been terminated by the Minister of Transport. Your reaction to this?
I don't know what you're talking about. My appointment has not been terminated, so if you have references to that effect, please give it to me.
Will you be surprised if that's the case, though?
I don't know about it. So when I get, yeah, exactly. When I get to that bridge, I'll cross it. Them.
Now, the Coalition for Public Health and Justice is appealing to His Excellency the President to abolish the compulsory vaccination since it undermines human rights. They also made a call to the Minister for Health and Director General of the Ghana Health Service, together with the Minister of Education and others, to withdraw the various directives of mandatory vaccinations in schools. They made this call at a press conference held earlier this afternoon dubbed Illegal COVID-19 Vaccine Mandates Rollout in Ghana.
Paralysis, menstrual abnormalities, blood clots, myocarditis, pericarditis, these one are heart things, cardiomyopathy, vaccine-induced thrombotic cytopenia, autoimmunity resulting in death, cerebral hemorrhage, thromboembolism, and several unexplained deaths following vaccination. Isn't it interesting that Ghanaians are not being told anything about these unfortunate side effects? Is it also not curious that anybody who raises issues is immediately being told, keep quiet? It is in this context, therefore, we appeal to our president, His Excellency Nana-Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to call his ministers and appointees to order, to do what is in the best interest of all citizens, not some citizens, not a majority of citizens, in the best interest of every single citizen of Ghana. That is the mandate we have given him and this government, because every life counts. Vaccinations may continue to the extent that citizens understand the risks they are exposed to. However, compulsory vaccinations should stop, and they should stop now. We call on the Minister of Health and the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, together with the Minister of Education and Director General of the Ghana Education Service, and all the other public institutions, parliament, and what have you, I think there are about 13 of them, to withdraw the various directives mandating vaccination. We urge the government of Ghana and its technical team to consider and promote all the safer alternative options that are available. And not just that, they should regularly highlight these safer options, as well as provide information on all the adverse reactions that citizens have experienced in Ghana as a result of vaccinations. We, as a country, should not force. We should not compel. We should not insist. We should not, for whatever reason, drag citizens in public institutions and say, you will lose your job if you do not get vaccinated. This infringes on citizens' rights, our rights, to make personal informed medical choices as we deem fit. It will affect Ghanaians in the long run, and we believe that this does not promote the democracy and the democratic credentials of this nation.
Well, the Minister of Health, Honorable Kweku Agyeman-Manu, in a Meet the Press series held earlier today at the Ministry of Information, said even though under his administration hospitals have not been built, they have completed many since the NPP government assumed office.
After these two areas, let us move into infrastructure. And that is where the health minister gets bashing so much. Show us one hospital that you have done since you took over power. Just one. But we have a lot to show this morning. We inherited a number of uncompleted projects. Quite a number. I don't have the slides, okay? Let me use these. first one is the University of Ghana Medical Center. 2017, there was a big battle. That has been completed. Started operationalizing that bit in stages. As I speak to you now, the whole phase 2 has also been completed. And you see pictures of UGMC in its full entirety having been done. The power station we're talking about is now done, and they are going to operationalize fully very soon. We will soon go there to do a commissioning of the phase 2. That is yet to come. Okay, that is the phase 2, which has virtually been completed, and we'll soon do that. So that place was not abandoned after all. We did some work in there. Let's move on. I don't have a slide, so whoever is rolling should concentrate and roll. The bridge hospital phase 1 had also been completed. I actually went to do the commissioning, and we are working very hard to soon commence phase 2. We are working, sourcing funding, and I think we have found somebody who is bringing the money. And I believe not long we will get the regulatory processes done for us to do bridge phase 2. So again, that place has also not been abandoned. Now the Tamale Teaching Hospital phase 2. We came to inherit that project. The contractor eventually couldn't complete the project, abandoned site. We got a new person online, and that place has also been completed. I went to do the commissioning of Tamale Teaching Hospital phase 2. So again, that place has not been abandoned. Can we move? Now back. We came to meet 10 polyclinics that have been completed. They were at various early stages of work, commencement of works. We worked hard to complete all of them. And I went to Central Region over 3 days to commission all these 10 polyclinics. This one was at Samuel's hometown. We have Big Ponija. I can't speak fancy, so don't mind me if I get the pronunciation wrong. It's not working. Let me shout. Big Ponija, Posin, Esil Sinkwa, Ekumfina Kwat, the Rampon, Bankron, Briwa, Isiasi. All of them 10 were completed and commissioned before 2020. Again, none of them was abandoned. Let's move on. The 5 polyclinics in Greater Accra region. Again, we worked and completed a lot of them, and I actually did the commissioning for all of these locations. Get back and let me see if I get the locations. There's one at Kashama, Botiamo, Adenta, that is the Uju one. Sege and Ujuman. Works have all been completed by 2019. We did the commissioning, and people are working in all these 5 polyclinics in Greater Accra.
Away from that, the Director of Communication of the New Patriotic Party, NPP, lawyer Yabwabenya Samwa, in a presser today, February 9, 2022, stated that the rating agencies, including Fitch Rating, in their report have deemed the e-levy to be an important act of Ghana's economy recovery efforts. Mr. Samwa also stated that the growth of the economy had recovered beyond 4% as it were in the year 2021. However, the rating agencies have accepted that the 20% cut by the government is important for the growth of the economy.
Important thing is that the international community has noticed. Civil society is participating. That notice from the international community about the e-levy and otherwise, and the loud, raucous noises is what has led Fitch, Moody's, Standard & Poor to give mixed reviews to Ghana in their latest round of assessments. Now, those assessments are meant to test economic health, but they take major account of the political temperature on which the economic health depends. So all the rating agencies believe our economy is inherently sound. It's important. Our economy is sound based on strong performance pre and during the pandemic. Pre and during the pandemic. Don't forget that before the pandemic, we grew from 2016 up to 2019 at an average almost at 7% per annum of GDP. And so that soundness, that inherent soundness was what supported us to stay in focus and not drop into negative growth in the year COVID was very, very high. We managed to sustain ourselves at 0.4%. So how do we get out? Even as at last year, our economy had rebounded and growth had hit beyond 4%. Now, the rating agencies believe that e-levy could be a very important part of that recovery. They are saying it in their reports. They believe the e-levy, when passed, could be a very important part of our recovery efforts. They've also accepted that the 20% cut by the government is important to support that process. So we have a situation where Ghana's economy, provided we can resolve ourselves in parliament, is in a position to grow even faster than before, given that there is still uncertainty worldwide about the direction of COVID, which means we'll have to keep spending and spending and spending on containment measures. And yet we need to spend in other sectors as well to grow the economy.
Thursday, February 8, 2022, a meeting between the Ministry of Education and UTAG and other stakeholders ended in stalemate and is expected to continue on Thursday, February 11, 2022. The meeting became necessary after the High Court ordered the National Labour Commission and the UTAG to resort to an out-of-court settlement following a suit filed by the NLC. An education think tank, Africa Education Watch, has asked government to shut down all public universities across the country until the striking teachers return to the lecture halls.
It has been 22 working days since members of the University Teachers Association of Ghana UTAG embarked on an industrial action. The strike by UTAG is to demand better conditions of service, which university teachers have been pursuing for years now. The regulations guiding public universities indicate that where there are no teaching activities for 31 days after academic activities are to resume, the school must be closed down. On Tuesday, February 8, 2022, a meeting between the Ministry of Education and UTAG and other stakeholders ended inconclusively and will continue on Thursday. The meeting became necessary after the High Court ordered the National Labour Commission and UTAG to resort to an out-of-court settlement following a suit filed by the NLC. Africa Education Watch, an education think tank, has asked government to close down all public universities across the country until UTAG impasse is resolved. The education think tank in a statement argued that in view of the increasing social and economic cost of staying on campus with no academic activity, the absence of academic direction for freshers on campus, and the lack of an imminent negotiated settlement of the impasse, it will be in the best interest of students, freshers especially, and their families for the schools to be closed down. The strike was declared on January 10, 2022. Majority of students on campus are freshmen who have not even been matriculated. These freshmen have no academic direction since they arrived in the universities to meet a university community without academic activity or supervision by their lecturers and counselors due to the strike. Their continuous stay on campus without academic activity has economic and social consequences on them and their families back home, as they continue to incur expenditure they otherwise wouldn't have incurred if they were home. It added that on the labor front, 5 weeks of industrial action is yet to achieve any significant progress in negotiating a settlement to the impasse. EdWatch thus called on vice chancellors to close down all public universities until the UTAG strike is called off.
Member of Parliament for Sawame Bwedri constituency, Frank Anodompre, has made a statement about the accident at the mobile junction in Sawam, a part of his constituency. In the statement, the honourable member expressed his utter dismay at the news of the accident that claimed the lives of 5, 4 dying on the spot and 1 shortly after being sent to the Sawam Government Hospital. He used the opportunity to seek expedition of road safety measures from the authorities to secure his constituents from the recurrence of similar incidents.
I will be understating my sorrows when I say that I'm deeply remorseful of the accident yesterday at Nsawam Mobile Junction that has brought gloom to the constituency and rang painful outcry from my constituent speaker. Around midday yesterday, the 7th of February 2022, reports came in that a trailer truck had failed all attempts to apply brakes, running into sections of unsuspecting road users, including pedestrians, speaker. This mishap culminated in the death of unlucky persons and the destruction to properties and wares of those in the area at the time of occurrence.
Given records of the accounts, the Member of Parliament lamented.
Speaker, a total of 5 people died, 4 died on the spot. The 5th victim passed on shortly after arriving at the Nsawam Government Hospital, situated barely a kilometer from the incident. Many others were badly injured, as many more narrowly escaped direct harm. Speaker, all these bringing back memories of the explosion disaster some 7 years at Peabo. It affected hundreds of households, claimed 1 life, and injured several others.
He commended the security services for prompt response.
Speaker, I wish to commend the police commander and his team from the MTTD, the fire service commander, and his officers, as well as the NADMO officials who rushed to the scene to evacuate the injured and control traffic situation at the time. Mr. Speaker, today, though with a heavy heart, I consider myself fortunate to articulate in this house the cries of our people, for they are not just cries of pain due to their loss, but also acute calls for increased road safety and calls for greater expectation from road users to exercise caution in the use of roads. Speaker, before elaborating further, I wish to take this moment to extend my sincere condolences to the families of the victims in this time of pain. I attempt to console them now, even though shock still grips them for their loss. A loss which is now ours to bear as a community. Mr. Speaker, I'm inclined to mention that though the location of this incident is not the most common one in news headlines, frequent users of the road cannot deny the fact that this is one of the intersections which has a questionable status in terms of its safety. The very junction is typically chaotic since no traffic lights are present to control the flow of vehicles. This is simply unsafe and unacceptable. It is regretful that an accident takes place before any substantial action is usually taken.
He used the opportunity to call on authorities to hasten efforts to make the intersection a safe one for the people of the constituency.
Speaker, while I still have the attention of the House and all major stakeholders for road and road safety, I earnestly call on the authorities, i.e. the Bureau of Roads and Highways, the National Road Safety Commission, and the Ghana Highway Authority, particularly responsible for the provision of traffic lights on our roads, to hasten their efforts to assess and instill the important road infrastructure for safe usage of our roads in our town, especially outside the capital. I recall writing to the relevant authorities last year for an assessment and installation of traffic lights where needed. We cannot continue to wait for such tragedies to take place before we are seen doing the needful. Speaker, to be clear, as has been pointed out by many inhabitants of Insaom, an assessment of the situation at the Insaom Total Filling Station intersection on the Insaom-Kumasi stretch and the intersection of the Mobile Junction at Insaom Township must be made for the provision of traffic lights. Subsequently, stricter measures to ensure safety should be employed to disallow trailer trucks from plying these routes. Those lives cannot be lost in vain. The Speaker, in conclusion, I once again encourage the affected families to stay strong. All hope is not lost despite this misfortune. Finally, I reassure all the injured victims that the people of Insaom are in solidarity with you. Speaker, thank you for the space granted.
Minority in Parliament has expressed satisfaction over what they describe as improper accountability for the COVID-19 expenditure in the country. According to the minority in a press briefing, the minority has filed a private member's motion in the House to constitute a bipartisan probe into the entire receipt and expenditure on COVID-19. Speaking to the press, Honorable Mita Kando, MP for the Draboso constituency in the Western region, says if the vast difference between the amount indicated by the country director and the accounts of COVID-19 is something to go by, then the country has a serious problem.
Last week, we heard the World Bank country director indicating that Ghana has been given not less than 560 million US dollars to fight COVID-19 in this country. He said they first gave about 430 million and an additional 130 million US dollars. It is one of the reasons why we think that the receipt and the expenditure on COVID-19 has not been transparent. It's been very opaque. And if you recall, and you have been checking the other papers, we on the minority side have filed a private member motion to constitute a bipartisan probe into the entire receipt and expenditure of COVID-19. We think it has never been transparent. There's one thing indicating what you have received and properly accounting for what you have received. And we think that there hasn't been proper accountability with regards to COVID-19. There are a lot of issues, and the remarks by the country director is just one out of the many. That we have received not less than 560 million US dollars. We have come through the 2021 budget and the 2022 budget. If what the director said is anything to go by, then we have a serious problem at hand, because the money received so far doesn't tally with what has been indicated by the country director. So we think that there should be a bipartisan probe to investigate the entire expenditure so that we'll bring this issue to its logical conclusion. Because you have heard issues about spending about 32 million Ghana cedis on meetings, We have seen issues about spending 600 million Ghana cedis on Agenda 111 in 2020, before even the grounds were broken for the constructions for the Agenda 111. So these are serious issues that I think that we must look into. As if that was not enough, he further indicated that that amount of money was given to Ghana to sensitize the people of Ghana on COVID-19, to educate the people of Ghana on COVID-19. Your guess is as good as mine. Some of you had to, give free slots to sensitize the people of this country without taking a dime from Ghana government. So what did they use the money for?
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with RwandAir today. RwandAir, the safest airline in Africa.
RwandAir, fly the dream of Africa.
Yeah, CB will make up now. I'm not correct. Why your best mankasa? That's it. Who anymore? Oh, middle. You captures back on CB men capsules. Me see CB men capsules in America.
Yeah, you see men and women's capsules now. You name the dada. And one year packaging I am the pepper.
Wow! What a packaging! CB men, any CB women capsules, no packaging is out. And you also no mood any bianza no akodo mpegi.
Share painful. Any about town man kwada no for. Any kwada won di fie du. Enka ho.
Susanna. Ghana man man tamase.
Adoa Afre 0247 111671 and 0246 578 750. FDA aje edwedin kato yato.
Blue City is a manufacturer and supplier of high-quality fashion accessories. We design and make quality bow ties, flying ties, lapel pins, ladies' brooches, fabric necklaces, African wares, and so much more for your weddings, schools, institutions, bands, choir, singing groups, individuals, and so many more. We use both African prints and foreign fabrics to make your beautiful accessories for you. Oh yeah! Contact us via call or WhatsApp or SMS on 0240-926-564. Locate us at Odoko Official Town opposite Emil's Preparatory School. Check us out on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Blue City Fashion. Blue City, creativity and style.
Back to the business segment. Economist and senior lecturer at the Wisconsin University, Reverend Samuel Wolanyo, has urged the government to create a separate account for the controversial electronic bill e-levy when it's passed by Parliament. He told my colleague Reginald Addy on PM Ghana.
The quantum of percentage rate that the government is demanding for a start is too high.
Right.
Because already the telcos are charging about 2%. If I'm sending...
They are just a bit below 1%.
Yes.
I don't think any of the telcos have gone beyond 1%. Recently we heard
it's in and out.
There has been a 25%
It's
reduction.
in and out. If I'm sending money to you, I paid 1%. If you are going to withdraw the same money, you pay 1%. That makes it 2%.
Okay.
You understand?
That would make government's let's put it now 1.5%, 3%.
Yes.
Right.
So if government added 1.50%, then that will make it 3.5%. And it's too high. And I think that if anything at all, either 0.5% or 1%. And so government should have engaged Ghanaians more. And even with that, government should be able to create a special account. The e-levy funds must not go into consolidated fund. Government should create a new account where all of us, we can look into and interrogate every day. Government, beside the special account, government should also make other provisions. For instance, what are we going to use this e-levy money for? Is it for educational empowerment? Is it for healthcare delivery?
Ghana Revenue Authority has assured that it's on course to automate its systems to block all leakages in the collection of revenue in the country. This follows the failure of the authority to account for the auctioning of 1,719 confiscated vehicles during the period 2015 to 2017 in the recent Auditor General's report.
In its 2018 report on ministries, departments and agencies, the Auditor General disclosed that the Ghana Revenue Authority could not provide proper documentation on the reserve price list of vehicles, auction sales report, and internal audit report covering the auction of 1,719 confiscated vehicles, which amounted to the loss of over 25 million Ghana cedis between 2015 and 2017. At the Public Account Committee sitting in Parliament, the Commissioner of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority in their defense explained that since his outfit was using a manual auctioning system at that time, taking and keeping records of the process was not done properly. Hence, the GRA's inability to properly account for the vehicles. He, however, indicated that during the period under review, the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority managed to produce documentation covering 1,622 vehicles, which has been forwarded to the Auditor General, hence leaving 97 vehicles unaccounted for. When questioned as to what measures being instituted to prevent such incidents from recurring, the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Reverend Anastasia Baddoo, assured the committee that his outfit has adopted the use of new automated system that would end such losses.
That's it for business. Up next is sports.
Blue City is a manufacturer and supplier of high-quality fashion accessories. We design and make quality bow ties, flying ties, lapel pins, ladies' brooches, fabric necklaces, African wares, and so much more for your weddings, schools, institutions, bands, choir, singing groups, individuals, and so many more. We use both African prints and foreign fabrics to make your beautiful accessories for you. Oh yeah! Contact us via call or WhatsApp or SMS on 0240 926 564. Locate us at Odoko Official Town opposite Emils Preparatory School. Check us out on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Blue City Fashion. Blue City, creativity and style.
In the world of sports, the government of Senegal, led by President Macky Sall, has rewarded each national football team member, I beg your pardon, cash prizes and plots of land following their win in the 2021 African Cup of Nations. Senegal defeated Egypt on penalties to be crowned champions of Africa for the first time in their history, which triggered triumphant commemoration across the streets of Dakar on Sunday, February 6.
In a colorful ceremony at the presidential palace in the capital of Senegal, Dakar, on Tuesday, February 8, 2022, each member of the playing body received an amount of $87,000, 200 square meter plot of land in Dakar, and 500 square meter plot of land in a nearby city of Diam Niadio. President Sall also appointed each member of the winning squad the country's prestigious Order of the Lion, as thousands of fans cheered outside the gates. Hundreds of thousands of joyous fans also flooded the street of the city of 3 million people on Monday, which the government had declared a public holiday to greet the team as a return from Cameroon. There were thousands of football fans on the street of Dakar on Monday evening, February 7, 2022, when the Senegalese national team players arrived after winning the 2021 AFCON title. Sadio Mane and his teammates at the Senegalese national team fought well at the just-ended 2021 African Cup of Nations in Cameroon, where they defeated Egypt in the final. Papa Boba Diop, Pape Diop, Bruno Metsu, and other Senegal sports personalities who passed away in recent years have also been remembered by the country after winning the African Cup of Nations. These heroes played a key part in the development of the current generations who were crowned African champions over the weekend. The Senegal Football Federation also dedicated the African Cup of Nations triumph to some of their fallen heroes. The West African football powerhouse defeated Egypt on penalties to be crowned champions of Africa for the first time in their history. Having been crowned African champions, the Lions of Teranga will show and now shift their focus to their 2022 World Cup qualification playoff in March. To qualify for the global football showpiece for the third time, they must negotiate their way past seven-time African kings Egypt. The winner over two legs will represent Africa at the World Cup in Qatar, scheduled to be held between 21st November 2022 and 18th.
Martin Del Potro's long-awaited ATP Tour return ended in defeat in Buenos Aires after the Argentine lost to his friend and countryman Federico Del Bonis. Del Potro was playing his first match since March 2019 and took notice with a break of serve in the opening set of the Argentina's Open match before ultimately falling 6-1, 6-3 in an hour and 23 minutes.
Juan Martin Del Potro could well have just played his final tennis match after an emotional return to the court after nearly 3 years away. The 33-year-old accepted a wild card into the Argentina Open in Buenos Aires and contested a first-round match against compatriot Federico Del Boni last night. A packed crowd witnessed the 2009 US Open champion's return, which could well signal the end for him after an emotional press conference in which he entered an immediate retirement. On an emotional evening in the Argentine capital, Del Potro showed flashes of the brilliance that optimized his career but ultimately lost 6-1 and 6-3. The 2016 Davis Cup champions was in tears before he served to stay in the match at 3-5 while the crowd chanted his name. Following the match, he shared a warm embrace with Del Boni and proceeded to hang his bandana in the net as a sign of farewell. Del Potro then took the time to address the crowd and announced he may have stepped on the court to play for the very last time. Possibly, we may not meet again, he told the Buenos Aires crowd. I will speak to doctors again. I have to take care of my knee, and then we will see, he said. If today was the last time, I will leave happy. With one of the game heaviest foreheads, Del Potro has won 22 ATP titles since turning professional in 2005, including his sole Grand Slam triumph in New York in 2009. Once ranked as high as number 3 in the world, Del Potro told fans after the match his decision was motivated by his health problems. Del Potro, who has also won the 2016 Davis Cup and a silver medalist at the Rio de Janeiro Olympic Games in the same year, has had multiple wrist and knee surgeries in the past decade. About 5,000 fans showed up to watch Del Potro, one of Argentina's best tennis players in history, alongside Guillermo Villa and Gabriela Sabatini. Del Boni, the seed of the tournament, will face Spain's Pablo Anjuda in the round of 16 of the Argentina Open on Thursday. Top seed Casper Ruud of Norway will play today against Spain's Roberto
Nigerian
Cabales.
Football Federation has announced the coaching team to face the Black Stars of Ghana in next month's World Cup playoff. According to the Nigeria Football Federation, caretaker coach Augustine Iguavon will be in charge of the Super Eagles for the match encounter. The Black Stars will host the first leg in Cape Coast Stadium March 24th before traveling to Nigeria for the second leg at the MKO Abiola National Stadium on Sunday, March 27. The first leg encounter, which will be played at the Cape Coast Stadium, will be the 59th clash at senior level between both West African giants in a 71-year rivalry. Ghana is chasing a record 4th FIFA World Cup appearance, while Nigeria seek for their 7th appearance in the competition. We call it a night on the evening news bulletin. Thanks for watching. We stream live on Facebook, Adoa TV Ghana. My name is Anastasia Baddoo. Do have a good evening.